What if HR worked in the same way that engineers and product teams do? With sprints, backlogs, clear priorities, visibility of work in progress, and a laser focus on outcomes. That is exactly how I work. I currently work as a strategic HR business partner, and I work in an agile way. What does this even mean? Well, if you watch this video till the end, you will get a good gist as to how I work, how I approach my work, how I scope pieces of work, how I break it down, and how I demonstrate and give evidence as to what I've achieved over a period of time. And today I'm going to show you how I do it and hopefully inspire you to start replicating something similar in your roles, even if you don't work currently in this way. Here is how I work using agile principles adopted for HR. Let's start from sprints. So each sprint is a 1-month focus period. We align on the outcomes we want to achieve and commit to delivering value within that time frame. Every week we run a sprint review to check progress, raise challenges, and support each other as peers. We call our work packages epics. So in our setup, we don't just have to-do lists, we actually have epics. An epic is a larger piece of work that delivers value and usually spans across a sprint or two. It might be a big HR challenge, for example, improve onboarding experience for new hires, design succession planning model for engineering, run a discovery on morale and well-being across certain departments. So each epic is broken down into smaller actionable tasks, just like chapters in a book, for example. Why does it matter? Well, it helps everyone understand what the big outcome is and how the smaller pieces of work contribute towards that. Another great addition when it comes to working in an agile way is using story points, which is all about estimating time and effort required to complete some of these work packages and actions. We use story points to estimate how much effort a task will take. Instead of assigning hours, for example, this is going to take me 1 hour, 5 hours, we use a number scale, often 1, 2, 3, 5 or more, to estimate complexity, not just time. So what do these numbers mean? For example, if you allocate to an activity story point 1, this means it's very easy, it's a quick win. For example, send a summary, write a quick brief, and things like that. So it can be completed fairly quickly within half an hour to an hour. If you allocate a story point 3 to your activity or an action, this means it requires moderate effort. For example, run a focus group, design a workshop. So for this, perhaps you would need half a day or all day. If you allocate 5 to 8, this means it's more complex. For example, discovery work across multiple teams, creating new processes, proposals. And if you allocate story point 13, for example, this is pretty much a big, hairy, needs breaking down further to really understand what this is, and you may need to spend all week on a particular piece of work. So in a nutshell, story points help us align on expectations. If something's a 5-pointer, for example, I'll know I'll need to carve out focus time, loop in others, and maybe unblock dependencies before making any progress and completing my overall actions and finalizing the work package. So overall, each task rolls up to an epic, has a story point estimate and a clear status, so we can keep momentum, manage capacity, and deliver value faster. Where do we track our progress? So I use Jira as part of my day-to-day job, but I've recreated something similar in Notion, which is much more accessible and still just as powerful, which I suggest to download, and there is a link down below which you can start using straight away. So each card is a work package linked to an epic. You can track who owns it, where it is in the process, and how complex it is. This makes people-related work visible, just like product or tech teams do. What I really like about this particular tool is that there is this big dashboard. You can click on your team members' names, you can see what they're working on and where the progress of their work is. The reason I prefer to work this way is that our work is open, it's transparent, there is no questioning as to who does what, and it works really well because of certain reports and stats that can be used and found in this particular dashboard that really demonstrate evidence as to how effective or productive this particular team is or it isn't. In terms of the skills I use pretty much on a day-to-day and weekly basis. So to work this way, I draw on a different set of skills than traditional HR business partner roles. I would say number one is problem solving. So this is getting to the root cause, not just the symptoms. Design thinking, I need to demonstrate certain level of empathy, ideation, and iteration. Consultancy skills as well is all about how we frame, influence, and deliver outcomes. Customer services mindset is very important important, which is all about treating the business like a client. And finally, change management, which is all about leading people through change without needing a full change team. I often say, whilst I don't have a consultant as a job title at the moment, I do definitely work as one. So working in this way, using epics, work packages, story point in HR may sound very unusual, but it will definitely help make invisible work more visible and keep people team aligned, just like product or tech teams work as well. So if you work as an HR business partner for engineering tech-led organizations, they are very likely to work in this way and use Jira as their main tool as to where they track progress, if they're managing projects and things like that. So it would be quite natural for you as an HR business partner, or if you can influence for your HR functions, start working in an agile way by breaking down pieces of work and work packages in this way, by using Jira, learning how to navigate some of these challenges and adapt agile ways of delivering things. Not only you will work better with the aligned groups, you will be using similar terminology, you will really understand pressure points and things like that. So in my opinion and assessment and experience, when you're using common language with your business areas you're partnering, I personally believe you're very likely to generate better and different outcomes than when you're working differently to your customers and clients. There could be sometimes certain clash from time to time. If you are really keen to change the way you work, the way you approach your work, the way you present your work, and demonstrate the value you've added, this is a great opportunity to start testing some of these concepts. So if you don't have an opportunity to start working in an agile way with your team because they aren't even talking about it, they're not using Jira, and you simply don't have an opportunity, this doesn't stop you from changing the way you work personally and in the way you approach your work. There is no opportunity to use Jira and other organizational tools. I do suggest you download Notion. Notion is one of my favorite productivity apps. You can simply sign up straight away. There is app and web access. This is where you can start tracking your work in a very clean, easy to navigate way. I have created a Notion template called Work Dashboard. You can download it for free. The link is down below in my description box. You will be able to replicate it and simply start updating in the way it suits you. You will see a section about projects. Think about your work initiatives as projects or as these work packages as I've just talked about. You will see a task dashboard which are broken down further from your projects and they'll lead to a certain percent achievement. So this is another great way to visually represent as to how much activity there is against all of these projects or initiatives. You will see a section about your own personal objectives dashboard. So when you speak to your manager, you'll be able to sort of say if you're on track or not visually, as well as the section about where you can track meetings with your manager and meetings with your stakeholders about the things you've talked about, actions, outcomes, and things like that to help you keep everything in one track. So whenever there are these meetings taking place, you'll be able to quickly get up to speed and hit the ground running, feeling really comfortable and confident about your pieces of work and where you're up to date in terms of progress and outcomes and things like that. If you currently work as an HR business partner or aspire to be one, I run the Expert HR Business Partner Academy. These are weekly live sessions. You can come along as a guest and observe and see what this is all about before you decide to sign up, or you can sign up straight away for a small monthly fee where you will be able to collaborate with other members of this particular Expert Academy. It's a very small international community of the existing HR business partners and aspiring HR business partners. We are doing live sessions and analyze case studies, which will ultimately help you bridge that gap in between college, university type way of learning something versus how to actually practically apply it from day one in your current existing roles, also with templates and toolkits to help you get started straight away. If you want to keep in contact, I issue weekly newsletters. You can subscribe and stay in contact that way. You can find the link down below. If you have liked this video, there are many other similar ones in my channel, so I'll see you in the next one.